let's go over a couple of them. Like I said, this is an algebraic catastrophe if we can't do it correctly. So we need to make sure we're following all of the right rules when it comes to these types of problems. So the first one's pretty easy. You have your 3x minus 1 less than or equal to 5x plus 3. And then what you do is solve for x. So subtract 5x from both sides, add 1 to both sides, and you get negative 2x less than or equal to 4. And then once you have that, we want to solve for x, but what happens is you divide by a negative, so your inequality changes direction, and you get x is greater than or equal to negative 2. And here, we won't really be using this type of notation. We're going to be using brackets and parentheses. So inclusive is a bracket, and these x values are bigger than negative 2. So our solution set is from negative 2 to infinity. Number 2, we have x times the quantity x minus 2 greater than 0. So what we want to do for this problem is look at the roots. So the roots are the values at which this would be 0. So that's x equals 0 and x equals 2. We're going to evaluate what's happening around those roots. So here, we need x to be greater than, we need this whole quantity to be greater than 0. So we'll check what happens around that. If I plug in the number 3, you get 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Well, a positive times a positive is a positive. Therefore, this is positive and greater than 0. If you plug in the number 1, 1 minus 2 is negative. 1 is positive. So this is negative. You plug in negative 1. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So again, we're looking for what values will make this positive. So it will be positive from 2 and up, and from 0 down. So what that means is my solution set is negative infinity to 0 and 2 to infinity. It's open because the inequality is open, so it does not include them. In number 3, we have the absolute value of x minus 3 less than or equal to 4. So again, it's a less than, so and. Less than gets split into 2 parts. You have x minus 3 less than or equal to 4, and x minus 3 greater than or equal to negative 4. Because when you split it, you have to split it into both parts. And then we're going to solve. So we add 3 to both sides. And we get x less than or equal to 7 and x greater than or equal to negative 1. So my solution set, because this is a less than or and, is from negative 1 to 7. It's brackets because it's including, both endpoints. For, you have absolute value x minus 2 greater than or equal to 5. So x minus 2 is great or, so this is an or. So we have x minus 2 greater than or equal to 5, or x minus 2 less than or equal to negative 5. Add 2 to both sides, and you get x greater than or equal to 7. And you get x less than or equal to negative 3. So x can be greater than or equal to 7, so that looks like 7 to infinity. Or x is less than or equal to negative 3, so that's negative infinity to negative 3. And it's important to note that you have to write these in numerical order. So I didn't write the 7 infinity, then negative infinity, negative 3. You always read it and put your answers like a number line. Negative infinity and positive infinity, if they're included, need to be at the farthest left and the farthest right. Your answers should be read like a book in order from smallest to largest. Okay, let's talk about 5. We have x squared less than 16. So again, in order to solve these, we need them to be with respect to 0. Then we're looking for their roots. So that's x minus 4, x plus 4. And then we're looking for when do those roots give answer sets less than 0. So we need to check above, below, and in between the zeros. So if we check less than negative 4, that's like plugging in negative 5. So negative 5 minus 4 is negative. Negative 5 plus 4, negative. So a negative times a negative is a positive. Here we have 0 as the easiest point between them. So you have negative 4, positive 4, that's a negative. Plugging in 8, I don't know, I just picked a random one. 8 minus 4 is 4, 8 plus 4 is 12, that's a positive. My solution sets need to be less than 0, so that means I'm looking for when it's negative. So that's from here to here. Or my answer is negative 4 to 4. Good? Better?